Hey guys, Sarah Capper here with VoiceVox. Every week I'll be sharing communications tips and common faux pas to help empower you to be a better communicator and hopefully entertain you a little bit. So if you like what you see or hear, please like the video or photo and visit voicevox.com. Let me know what you want to hear about, what you want to hear more about. And I challenge you to take the tips that I share every day and use them in your interactions, in your conversations, and to let me know how they go. Comment or send me an email at voicebox@gmail.com, and I can't wait to hear from you. This week, we'll be talking about active listening. And believe it or not, listening is a key communication skill to have. So, have you ever been introduced to someone and you realize that almost immediately you forget their name? It's okay. You don't have to admit it, but you're not alone. So, one tip for you is right after you meet someone, think to yourself a word that is associated with that person. So something that reminds you of them, preferably a word that starts with the same letter as their name. So let's say, for instance, I meet someone named Nancy, and Nancy happens to be very well put together. She has a very nice outfit. I might think to myself, okay, I just met neat Nancy. So using alliteration is really helpful. Otherwise, use some kind of associative word to help you remember their name. As I mentioned, this week we're talking about active listening, and that last video actually wasn't the actual tip. So, bonus Monday, woo! Anyway, active listening tip number one, look the person in the eyes and make sure that you are facing them when they are speaking to you. Way too often I'm at a networking event and I see two people talking to one another, and one person has their body angled in a slightly different direction than directly facing the person. So when you do those things, when you look the person in the eye and you face them directly, it really helps to convey engagement and understanding. Have a great week. Good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. Today is day 2 of active listening tips. And today we're talking about keeping an open mind and staying curious. You know that one time you were talking to someone and you could physically start to see them getting excited about what they were going to respond with before you'd even finished your sentence? Now, no matter which side of the scenario you're on there, hopefully this will help. So every time you're going into a conversation or you're segueing from topic to topic, just trying to clear your mind. I know it's hard, and think only about what you want to learn, right? So we'll call it an active learning mindset. Because no matter the objective of the conversation, whether it's small talk, you're just catching up with a friend, or you're in a meeting with your boss about a promotion, you have only to benefit from listening and learning. On to tip number 2. Now, when you start to sense yourself formulating a response before you've really heard what the person has to say, or before there's an organic break in the conversation, before you've gotten the full context, let that instead be a trigger for you to ask the person to tell you more. So find something in the conversation and what they've just said that you find genuinely interesting and ask the person to tell you more about that. And I'll let you in on a little secret. If you're an introvert, like me, or you just have trouble filling the silence, this also works. So you can again find something that stuck out to you in what they've said, ask them to tell you more, and they will be more than happy to oblige you. Hi everyone, and welcome to day 3 of active listening. Today's tip is to read between the lines. Only a fraction of a message is conveyed in the words that someone says. So when I say read between the lines, I mean keep an eye out for nonverbal cues, for tone. You can detect things like skepticism, enthusiasm, boredom, and a number of other sentiments. If someone has their arms open, they're gesturing towards you, versus their arms crossed, maybe a little more abrasive or defensive stance, that obviously says a lot and can sometimes contradict what the person is saying. Now, fun fact, if you want to know the difference between a genuine smile and not so genuine, it's all about the muscles, specifically the crow's feet around the eyes. So for example, if I smile like this, not a lot of crow's feet going on up there, but if I smile like this, a lot more crow's feet contributing to my wrinkles, but well worth it if you are happy and enjoying life. I hope you all are today. And if you have a story about observing body language or tone that seemed to contradict what someone was saying, please share it with me. I'd love to hear about it. Hey guys, today's active listening tip is to ask clarifying questions. Why? Because it helps you to better understand the person speaking. So if you ask me how my day was, I might say, well, I got a flat tire on the way to work, and then I didn't finish my homework on break, but then I got to relax and spend time with friends. And so you might reply with something like, wow, it sounds like you had a really long day. Or a question like, so would you say it was an overall really good day or an overall bad day? Just to ensure that you really understand what's going on, because there it was kind of hard to tell whether it was a good day or a bad day, right? So wait for a pause in the speaker's comments and the conversation, and then ask those clarifying questions or make clarifying statements to keep the conversation moving. Now, if you're like me, you are all about the positive vibe. So if you're in a conversation that has a particularly negative tone to it, maybe someone is talking about how rough their day was and they're listing all the things that happen, which by the way is fine because we all have rough days. But one thing I like to do to get my friends and family thinking about the good things going on is to wait for a pause in the conversation and then respond with something like, wow, it sounds like you have a lot going on. Tell me about something good that happened today, or something that you are thankful for this week. Or respond with something like, wow, sounds like despite all of those challenging things that happened today, you handled those really well, if in fact they did. So people really appreciate when you can help them extract the good things going on in their day or in life, because sometimes we're just too close to it to do it ourselves. And also to help them to see that amidst all of the challenging things in life, that there is a silver lining. Hello, happy Friday and happy St. Patrick's Day. Last tip of the work week for active listening is to summarize what the person just told you. So when you're having a conversation and you think you understand what someone is saying, responding with something like, okay, so what I think I just heard you say was, and then summarize what you think you heard. Or something like, okay, let me synthesize what I think I heard just to make sure that I understand. Whatever is most genuine to your communication style and preference is fine, but just another way to help gain some clarity and ensure that you have the full context of what the person is saying.